Hello, and thank you for joining me for this core beginners workout, perfect for early postnatal from about 4 weeks, as long as you don't have any issues. And if you do have any concerns, then please make sure that you check with a women's health physiotherapist for an individual assessment and bespoke exercise program before starting anything more intense. So this is about just reconnecting to your tummy muscles, trying to engage those deeper core muscles and get a little reconnection with your pelvic floor, trying to get them co-contracting together, which I have done in a previous video for you. So we're going to start on your back. Come down into a nice position where we talk about our neutral spine. We don't want to squash our back so that our bottom is slightly lifted, and we don't want to arch our back so that we are rib flaring. You want to try and get your pubic bone and the bottom of your ribs into a nice spirit level. Release the arms by your sides, and then do a body scan all the way from top to tail. So make sure that your neck is lengthened. You're not lifting your chin up, you're just holding a little peach underneath your chin. Drop the shoulders down and try and flatten your shoulder blades into your mat. Take a nice breath into your lungs, and as you expand, let your rib cage open and exhale. Soften the elbows, release your fists, and then focus into your mid, your trunk, your pelvis, and let's start with some nice gentle pelvic tilts where you are squashing your back this time, and then release and arch your back as much as you can. Exhale as you squash down, bring belly button into your spine. Inhale as you arch, fill your lungs with the air, let your belly release, and squash down. So we're just aiming for some nice restorative movement into your spine. So as we squash down, I want you to feel a little bit of a tightening of your tummy and then release. Now don't worry if your belly feels very new to this. You're just reconnecting with those muscles. 2 more. And then let's stay back into our neutral spine and drop palms by your sides. Stretch them down so that you're lengthening through these shoulders again. Making sure that you've got equal weight through your feet. Let's squash the back one last time. But this time you're going to start to engage your glutes as you peel up into our bridge and roll it back down. Inhale here. Exhale again as you start to squash the back, squeeze your buttocks, press with your palms and lift your hips up. And inhale as you roll back down. So the main thing we're aiming for here, as you lift up, you're trying to peel each vertebrae of your spine nice and high. And then same as you go down, thinking individually, dropping one at a time. Inhale, release. Exhale, lift. Press through with both heels so that you're engaging through your buttocks. And when you get to the top, make sure that you're not hunching. Again, open the collarbones, drop the shoulders, and back down. Last one, peeling up, squeeze, lift, and release back down. And release it here. Okay, more connection into your abdominals now. Let's take the hands behind your head. So we're going for an abdo prep here, which is just trying to reconnect to your abdominals We are not doing a crunch, so when you lift your head, try to avoid tilting back and bringing your chin down. As you lift your head up, try to avoid overarching and bellowing out with the belly. All you're trying to do is keep your pelvis nice and still. You might get a nice little ray of light coming in through your lower back. And as you lift up, you're trying to slot your ribs down. Inhale down, exhale lift. Inhale down, exhale tighten up through these upper abdominals. Keep the chin off the chest, elbows nice and wide. Now this is a nice position to start connecting with pelvic floor. So we can feel this pressure that we're creating in our abs. Ensure that you are not bearing down or bracing as you lift up. So only lift up as far as you're comfortable, which really is just to the top of the shoulder blades for most people. And because you can feel that tightening here, and feel free to have a feel down your midline, feeling that gap if you've still got a little diastasis or separation in your abs. So as you come up, feel like it hardens, engaging those deeper core muscles, and then add a pelvic floor lift as well, and you should feel that that connection gets a little bit harder. 3 more here. So again, that emphasis on the out breath, the tightening, and the lift, putting all 3 together and release. Let's keep our hands here as we go into hip twist. So you're going to drop one knee out to the side, controlled. I shouldn't just say drop, we're not letting it flop out. Control and bring it back in. So we're trying to keep the upper body nice and steady. Again, exhaling as you move, inhaling back into the center. Static legs staying dead still, trying to avoid rocking through your hips here. Keep that leg nice and steady. Back in. One more this side. And then switching over. So you're getting a nice diagonal pull into this opposite rib, trying to keep this nice and steady. So it's these upper abs here that you're working. Inhale in, exhale out. And what we're trying to do here is regain the strength in these really smaller intrinsic muscles within your pelvis. And one more. Now let's take it into a level 2 hip twist. So this time you're going to lift one leg up. And by doing that, again, making sure that you're not just flopped into that posterior tilt, try and keep that nice neutral spine. So as you lift up, you've still got a little engagement through here. And once you're here, you're going to let it drop out and come back in again. Just taking it out as far as you're comfortable, as far as you have control. You might find that you go a little bit too far and the whole pelvis seems to rock with it. So just take it to the point where you're comfortable and back in. Again, if you feel any pain within your pelvis, your pubic bone, and round into your back, then maybe this is too much for you. Go back to that level 1 on the mat. Same on the other side. Lift into that 90-degree position. Let it flop out, control, and inhale back in. Ground that opposite foot into the mat. That side's not moving anywhere. And often it's the stability that you're working on the static side rather than the one that's moving. Last one this side. And release. Take our arms up to the ceiling. Squash those shoulder blades back into the mat without over flaring these ribs. Let's take the ribs down, trying to engage these upper abdominals. Arms up to the ceiling, but retracting those shoulders back. Equal weight through feet, not overarching the spine. Let's keep it nice and steady, and exhaling as you float the arms back. Inhale back into the ceiling. Soft shoulders, soft elbows. Now as you float back, what you're going to be tempted to do is arch up through this upper back. So it's trying to keep that down. And it can feel like a nice stretch just to get these lats involved again in some movement after being quite hunched over or carrying and feeding most of the day. So take it nice and easy. Again, floating the arms back but flattening the shoulder blades. Now stick with this one if it's comfortable and you feel like that's enough for your abdominals today. But the next move from there would be to add a leg. So the opposite leg is going to start to slide away. So peel the toes up, start to slide the leg away as you extend the opposite arm. Inhale to the middle and the opposite side. Testing our coordination here, as well as that nice diagonal stability through the obliques right down into the toes. Keeping that breath going with an exhale as you tighten, avoiding bracing or overextending. Nice neutral spine, one more each side. And release back down. Rolling over onto our side. So you might have been taught this or you may have had it in the leaflet, but make sure that you do use your arms to push, to lift your bottom, to then swivel your legs round and use your upper body to push up. So you're never straining or pushing, especially if you've got a diastasis or a C-section scar. So now we're on to our side and let's come flat down. You can support your head or have it flat. I'll keep it here just now. Let's keep our knees together and our heels in line with our hips and our shoulders, and lengthen this top hip away so you can sink down into it and your side is squashed into the mat, or you can just create that little ray of light coming through here and dropping that hip down. So a classic clam here, again supporting through here if need be, heels together and just open and shut through that clamshell. Now you don't have to think too much about what your core is doing here. This is activating a nice small muscle in your side glute, really important for pelvic stability. But again, if you're suffering with any pubic pain, pain round into your sacrum, then just work within the range that is comfortable. Making it slightly harder. Let's lift the heels up and then still do your clamshell there. So we're just taking away a base of support. Again, if you find that too hard, put the feet back down. Exhale, inhale. And after a while, it can give a nice little burn into this muscle here. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Release the knees, relax through the legs. Let's take our hands out front for a nice thoracic opening. We're going to draw the arrow to our heart, swivel our chest round and open up as much as you can to the opposite side.
heel back with the hands together. Same again, if you can, take it wider, follow your hand around with your eyes, opening up the chest, get a nice stretch all down the side there, and release into it, relax. Don't hold and brace and strain into a stretch. One more here, hands back together, keeping your shoulder blades as flat as you can against the mat, keeping the knees together. And bring it back. And take your time, we're going to swivel around onto all fours. So into our cat-cow position. Hands underneath shoulders, relax them back. Knees underneath hips. Now drop your tummy down, stick your bottom out, lift your head. A nice inhale here. And then as you exhale, curl everything, bring the chin in, curl the upper back, tuck the bottom in. Inhale, release. And exhale, bring everything back in. Belly button in towards your spine. And release. I say that we're flossing our spinal cord here, and it should feel quite nice. Really good one if you're suffering with any back pain or sciatic symptoms down the leg. And finding our neutral spine again there. So we should have a slight curve in our upper back and a slight arch into our lower back. So into our Superman progressions. So take one leg and you're going to stretch it away, keep it in contact with the floor and lengthen it away from you. Inhale back in, exhale away. So you're taking more weight through this static knee on the opposite side. And what we're aiming for is to try and keep your back nice and stable. Imagine you've got that glass of water or a glass of wine if it makes you work that little bit harder. Inhale in, exhale out. So we're not dipping through the hip and we're not arching through the back. And we're nice and stable through the shoulders. No hunching. Drop them back as much as you can. And then we can add the opposite arm. So we're going to lengthen it away. Again, let's just stay with contact with the mat. And you should feel a little diagonal pull coming between that static arm and leg. And we're just getting used to transferring the weight and engaging through our abdominals here. One more this side. Release. Again, if you need to soften the shoulders or arch the back just to ease off through there, then do so. Same the opposite side. Start to lengthen the foot away. Hold and bring it in. And this is building us up to be able to lift it off the mat, but really just starting to connect in this sort of position. Try and maintain what you've got in your back. And you can still feel like you're drawing your belly button in off the mat towards the spine. You're engaging through these deeper abdominals. Again, using the breath. Let's add the opposite arm. Exhale away. Inhale, return. Do one more this side, and you'll feel like one side is usually a little bit stronger or dominant than the other. And we'll sit back into our child's pose, take the knees slightly wider, hips to heels, stretch the arms out and drop the head down. Just one of the best yoga poses out there for a nice rested position, but with a stretch as well. And then we're repeating on the opposite side. So come down onto your side, making sure that knees together, hips together, a little ray of light coming through your side there. So lifting through your waist, which will help engage your obliques here, and starting into your clam on this side. Again, probably working out that one side feels slightly more comfortable, is stronger, or has a better mobility. Good. And make sure that you're doing it with control and with purpose, so you're not just going up and down, because then that's the work through more so from the joint rather than control and stability through this muscle, and we're not rocking backwards. Good. And if you don't need this hand for support, then feel free to take it away. And then we'll make it slightly harder. Let's lift the heels again. And again, with all these moves, I'm doing say 5 or 10 reps mostly, but if you feel comfortable doing more, then do so. If 10 is too many, then you stop, okay? So you're always listening to your body and feeling, right, is this just muscle tiring, or is this actually causing me pain? Is this aggravating an existing issue, or I'm just not comfortable with it yet, okay? And that's okay. We'll do 2 more here, starting to wake up that little muscle there. Good, let's go back into our thoracic extensions. Release the legs, hands together, relax the head, draw the hand to the heart, open up the chest, open the arm a little bit wider and release. Hands back together, taking it a bit wider if you can, all the way over. And one more time. And you can stay in this position as long as you're comfortable. Again, a nice, relaxing, stretching through the spine position, which was maybe a little bit more difficult when you've got a bump. Okay, let's come back up into sitting. Again, using your arms and your upper body as much as you need. And we're back into this cross-leg position or into your Buddha position, whatever you're more comfortable with, into your hips. Okay, into a nice little pelvic roll again. So let's slump down, chin to chest. Inhale, rise. Exhale, down. Inhale, rise. Let's add an extra stretch forward as we slump down, chin to chest. Inhale, rise overhead and down again. And up. Nice stretch through the back there and release. And the last one, stretch up, hold it here. Let's go hands behind your back. Drop the shoulders gently, keep the elbows nice and wide, rotate round. Inhale to the middle and round. One more each side. Always exhaling on the hardest part so that you don't brace and push and then create more pressure into your abdominals. And release the arms into a nice side stretch, mermaid pose. And to the other side. Going down a little bit further onto forearm if you can. And last one here. Great. Well done. Big shoulder shrugs. So hopefully you feel a little bit more warmed up after that. Again, just getting that connection between your breath, a little bit of core engagement, and 20 minutes is all you need to get started with. Join me again for some more progressions.